You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Well, Black and White sports fans, it's been a while since we actually talked about the track meet killer, Karmelo Anthony. Yeah, not the former NBA player, guys. Just to recap here, if you guys remember back in April, at a high school track meet in Frisco, Texas, Karmelo Anthony was on the track team, Austin Metcalf on the opposing track team, and it started raining. And each team had its own tent. But Karmelo Anthony decided, you know what? I don't want to be over there with my team. I'm actually going to go over and invade another team's tent, which he's not supposed to do. So he was told that he had to leave. Austin Metcalf walked up to him, told him, hey, you need to go. You don't supposed to be over here. And Karmelo Anthony allegedly said, touch me and see what happens. And he actually has a black knife, pulls it out, stabs Austin Metcalf in the heart. Austin Metcalf bleeds out in his twin brother's arms, and Karmelo Anthony runs away. Eventually, he's actually arrested, and he asked the police something along the lines of, can I actually claim self-defense? Folks, this was definitely not self-defense at all. And now Karmelo Anthony has a trial coming up, if I'm not mistaken, June the 1st of 2026. So roughly 7 months from now, folks. 7 months. Now his family started a give, send, go. And initially, I believe they were asking for like $500,000, for legal expenses and other things as well. Well, then they actually changed it, and now they want something like $1.4 million. Because the word earlier, folks, is that they pretty much blew the money. And then I guess once that news came out, and also people that actually viewed the video footage hasn't been released publicly, they're saying, yeah, this ain't a self-defense thing. And then the money dried up. That's when I believe they actually asked for $1.4 million. Well, guess what, folks? Apparently, they raised a little bit more money, folks. Almost $600,000. And guess what? Apparently, they blew it all. Yeah, folks, blew it all. And this case is not going to trial until June. I think that Karmelo Anthony, folks, is in a world of trouble. And if I'm not mistaken, also, by the way, guys, once he said that he was destitute or whatever, they said he was actually going to get a public defender. So I guess they're just pocketing up all that money, and they keep blowing it. They told you guys in the Give, Send, Go, yeah, they were going to use it for living expenses too. Yeah, but we got an update now, guys. Let's go ahead and get into it. Here we go. So right over here, man, Sarah Field, she's been covering the Karmelo Anthony track meet killing pretty much all year. And I believe it's probably been like 4 months or so since actually I last talked about this. But Drew Anthony is Karmelo's father. Okay? So it says here, Drew Anthony, father of Karmelo Anthony, who fatally and senselessly stabbed Austin Metcalf in the heart, reportedly has no funds, according to his advocate. This comes after the Anthony family raised well over $500,000 via Give, Send, Go since April. And actually right here, guys, they're sitting at about $571,000 right there. Yeah, that money started drying up real fast, man, once the money started rolling in. And then people that were just donating to Karmelo Anthony, just because he's black. And then we find out pretty much it's not a fact yet. They still got to go to trial that this wasn't self-defense. Then the money started drying up. So they probably raised in the last 4 months or so, maybe an extra $30,000 or something like that. I mean, I believe the initial amount of money they wanted was 500,000. Now they want 1.4 million. And once that changed, yeah, the money started drying up. And they getting like small donations here, $35, $20. They're not even going to be close to that 1.44 million. And by the way, they were already living in a $900,000 house. Okay. And they haven't updated anything since June of 2025. I believe that's the last time they updated this thing. But anyway, Sarah Fields continues on. Their advocate announced on a live feed that they were only able to have Thanksgiving dinner because the large donations sent directly to Drew's Cash App. Drew has claimed that he can't get a job because of threats. Meanwhile, the Metcalfs had to spend their first Thanksgiving without their son. Now, this is a small portion of what was said. Then we're actually going to listen into the whole thing. Here we go.
He was in the car driving, trying to figure out what he was going to do. And he told me to share this with you guys. Drew and I were speaking on the phone, and all of a sudden, 2 Cash Apps come through for a substantial amount of money, and he can't believe it. And he was able to go get his family some food for Thanksgiving. And he was in the car driving.
So 2 Cash Apps came in for a substantial amount of money. How much was that? Several thousand, something like that. Now, I highly doubt, folks, that they use almost $600,000 on legal defense. Something's telling me, man, that they actually blew the vast majority of this stuff on their lifestyle. But here is the full audio right here, guys. Listen in.
Drew and I were speaking on the phone, and I asked him if they needed anything, and he told me no. And he told me to share this with you guys. He told me no, they didn't need anything. And all of a sudden, 2 Cash Apps come through for a substantial amount of money, and he can't believe it. And it's from Sherrod and Mr. Lee. And he was able to go get his family some food for Thanksgiving, and they had a good meal with 2 fried turkeys and stuff. So,
man,
thank you real good.
2
Shout out
fried
to Sherrod and
turkeys.
Mr. Lee for doing that.
That's people what's up. I like that.
Think, oh, we're raising a lot of money in gifts and go. No, that just covers their basic living expenses. Like, that's why I do it every week. Like, it's things that I shouldn't have to say because people should just be supportive. I feel like people should just be supportive. I shouldn't have to say, well, the gifts and go only covers their living expenses. When we talk about food and groceries and holidays, that's not covered. That's not covered. But Sherrod and Mr. Lee came through. I'm telling y'all, he was in the car driving, trying to figure out what he was going to do. He didn't want to tell me that there was no funds, but after the money came through, he said, oh my God, Tiff, God just be looking out for us. He said, we didn't have any. This is hard. I'm going to go on mute, okay? I'm going to go on mute. Y'all get it.
Wow. So she's saying right there, and I believe this is kind of what we heard before, that Karmelo Anthony was actually going to get a public defender because he's destitute. And she said that their gifts and go was covering their living expenses. So you mean to tell me since April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, 8 months, that they blew almost $600,000 on quote unquote living expenses? Wow. This whole thing was a scam, guys. A scam. And look here. Sarah Fields writes this. Someone needs to explain to me how there are no funds, $500,000 to help with living expenses and all else, and there are no funds. That's more than most people make in 5 to 6 years. Yeah, I would actually say it's more than that. Because how many people are actually making $100,000 a year? Yeah, this is probably more like 8 to 9 years. And Karmelo Anthony was there, man. Remember, some woke judge lowered his bail. So he got to spend Thanksgiving with his family. While the Metcalf family, they didn't have Austin Metcalf there because Karmelo Anthony killed him at a track meet. Unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable. If you had any common sense, you wouldn't be donating one single dime to this family. Not one single dime. Almost $600,000, guys, gone. Allegedly. And then he got these bit donations on Cash App. Wow. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.